Welcome to the weekend preview and prediction show here on Scorivo TV. We'll be taking a look at the matches to be played in the English Premier League at the weekend. As always, welcome to the show, Chief.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here as well, and we hope to have a very, very good weekend.
Yeah, lots of actions to be played at the weekend. Let's start with the game between Manchester United and Fulham. What's your take on that game?
Yeah, Manchester United are on a very, very good run of form right now. Two wins in two for Michael Carrick. And that can also be said for Fulham. They're a very strong side, coming up with a win as well in their last game against Brighton, coming from behind. I think it's going to be a very, very strong game. But I think Manchester United have the upper edge. Yes, they lost Dogu to a 10-week injury, which is unfortunate. He has been assisting and scoring for some time now. So it's a huge loss for Manchester United. But I think Man U will come on top with a 1-0 win.
1-0 win. Chike doesn't see much goals in that game. Well, perhaps I also think Man U are going to pull away. I mean, looking at them, they will want to sustain a perfect start under their new manager. Talking of Michael Carrick, I see a 2-1 win for Manchester United at Old Trafford. Now, moving on from there, let's see the game between Tottenham and Man City. What's your take on that?
That is always a huge clash. Pep
Yeah,
Guardiola
definitely.
and Tottenham. There is always goals. That is what one thing you are guaranteed in this game: goals. Attacking football. Yes, Thomas Frank has his approach now with Tottenham, but I think definitely there will still be goals. Tottenham has been conceding of late. They are also scoring, but not quite the free-flowing Tottenham that we know. Man City have beefed up their squad, adding a defender, Maguire, and also Semenyo. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game, but I think it will end in a draw, 2-2.
Ticketing Guardiola does not have what it takes to go to Spurs and pick a win, even considering the fact that him and his boys are very anxious to catch up with Arsenal. Arsenal who know their lead have been cut down to 4 points now. So I think Guardiola should be very, very determined to get a win in that game and keep a chase on Arsenal. It should be a 3-1 win for Guardiola in that game.
Well, that's what you think, but it's Spurs and Man City. I think Spurs is Pep Guardiola's what's that word again? In short, Tottenham is Pep's fall team. They always find a
They
way.
always find a way to
Yeah,
crack
they
it.
always find a way to get something out of Pep. So I think it ends in a draw for me.
Well, Chike think it should be a draw. It's going to be a draw. I think Guardiola is going to get, City is going to get a 3-1 win at against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, moving on from there, let's take a look at Arsenal versus Leeds United. Arsenal are playing away to Leeds.
Yes, interesting game for us now because Leeds is a very, very difficult team.
Very stubborn
They
team.
play a very good attacking football for a team that you feel are struggling in a relegation battle. They don't seem to concede easily. Yeah, they conceded I think 4 against Newcastle, but that was like one in about 10 games where they conceded more than 2 goals in the game. So they always score. They are a very good attacking team. And Arsenal right now look a bit shaky. But I still think Arsenal will come out on top on that game with a 2-0 victory because they really, really need it. They need to get back on track. If Manchester City wins, it's down to 1 point. So I think they know the importance of the game. And I think they will go out there to win that game. And I think they'll come out on top with a 2-0 victory.
Well, I don't think Arsenal can go away to Leeds and not concede a goal. I mean, against United, that was the first time indeed that they were conceding 3 goals in a game. I know they have a very good defense, but in recent games they've had some setbacks and here and there. I think it should be a 2-1 win for Arsenal. There has to be a goal that Arsenal is going to concede in that game.
Yeah, that is likely. Yeah, the defense has been shaky of late, so conceding a goal is very likely, especially with Leeds that score very well. So yeah, it's likely, but I still think 2-0.
2-0 is Chike stands. Let's take a look at Chelsea versus West Ham.
Another interesting game.
Indeed.
West Ham, they are battling it out at the bottom of the league.
Mm.
They really need it. Chelsea also looking to make the top four. It's an interesting one. I think I'm not really, I'm not really, I'm not really convinced yet with Chelsea's new manager. Their approach, they are winning, but their approach, the tactics and all that, their gameplay, I'm not really a fan yet. And I think West Ham have come out with some impressive victories of late. So I think it's looking like an offset for me. I think West Ham can go to Stamford Bridge and take the whole 3 points. I think it might end up being a 2-1 victory for West Ham.
Sorry, you say what's the scoreline again? I just want to be sure. What's the scoreline again? Say 3-1 or 2-1?
2-1. 2-1 victory for West Ham.
Well, there you
Yes,
have
I
it.
think
Chike
so,
thinks West Ham have what it takes to go to Stamford Bridge
yeah.
against a Chelsea side that seem to have find some sort of revival under their new manager. I think West Ham have been a struggling team recently, even though in their last couple of games, in the last one they even pulled an upset against a very good Sunderland side. But I don't think they have what it takes to go to the bridge and get a win. I was thinking Chelsea are going to win that game with a clean sheet even. It should be a 3-0 win for Chelsea in that game.
No, Chelsea won't win that game. I'm very sure of that. I don't think with West Ham's correct form and with what I've seen from Chelsea of late, I don't think the approach play is something that can be threatening to West Ham. I think West Ham will take all 3 points.
If you believe with Chike, perhaps you can put your money where your mouth is and see how it turns out for you. Now, let's take a look at a game between Liverpool and Newcastle United. A very tough one there.
Very, very tough game coming. I think for both teams, it's critical. It's a very, very important game. Both teams are fighting it out for the Champions League spot as well.
Yeah.
Both teams have been struggling this season. This is not what we know both teams for. In the past few years, Newcastle have done well in the past 2 years. Liverpool won the league last year, so this is not where you expect both teams to be. So I think one, they will be out there to prove a point. Two, they will be looking to win that. Both teams will be looking to win that game.
Yeah.
For that Champions League place. There will be goals, surely. Both teams are leaking goals, and both teams are also creating in attack. So I think there will be goals. I'll go for a draw, a 3-3 draw.
3-3 draw.
Yeah.
Well, I also have the same view there. I don't think, even as much as it looks as though Slot's job depends on the outcome of that game, I still think Newcastle have so much to offer in that game. It's going to be a very competitive game. I'm also seeing a 2-2 draw in that game. There will be goals, and of course, 2-2 should be the scoreline for me at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the most likely outcome.
So let's move on from Liverpool versus Newcastle and take a look at Aston Villa versus Brentford. Villa have been very impressive recently. They're looking at possibly securing a top 4 finish. They have been pushing for some signing. What's your take on that game?
Another interesting. It seems we have a whole lot of
it's an interesting weekend in the Premier League.
I think Villa. I don't know Villa's what would I call it? What they are looking to achieve this season. I don't know if it's the Champions League or the Premier League. They are in a good place to challenge for the Premier League. So the last time where they would have cut the gap to 4 points, they lost at home, to Everton. So you can't really say it's Unai Emery. You can't really say, but I think with Brentford also in a good form, also with the opportunity to qualify for Europe, I think it's going to be a draw as well. I think it's going to be a draw, and I think it's going to be a goalless draw in that game.
A goalless draw.
Yeah, both teams are going to be battling it out on that day.
Well, in as much as Brentford will be looking at correcting whatever happened against Nottingham Forest in their last game, I think a certain Unai Emery and his boys are also dreaming very big. You say you don't know what they're fighting for, and perhaps they may not be in the right. They may not have that mentality to challenge for the Premier League. But I think a top four finish for them to be in the Champions League next season should be what Emery and his boy will be definitely fighting for. So
Mm.
going into that game, I think Villa are going to get a win against Brentford. Should be a 2-1 win for Villa.
Well, it does. That's a possibility. They're at home, and I think it depends on how the manager approaches the game, what he tells his players. This is an opportunity. Is either this is an opportunity to go try and win the league because you don't know, you don't want to think about how other teams can perform. You can make reference to the Leicester season, how they saw the opportunity and went on a run and won the league. So he can make an impression and his players can deliver.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Villa players have all the motivation to play for at least if you can get the league, at least secure a top four finish for the Champions League playoff next season. Now let's take a look at the game between Brighton versus Everton.
Brighton, Everton. Brighton, the most unpredictable team
Mm.
in the Premier League. The games you expect them to win, they lose. The games you expect them to lose, they perform. But Everton, Everton has been strong this season. The signings they've brought in, the way the manager coaches the team, his tactics, his setup, he has been impressive, even against the big boys. So I think Everton will win this game. I think it's going to be a 1-0 away win for Everton.
Indeed, statistically looking at both teams, in their last two meetings, Everton had an edge over Brighton. But I don't think it's going to be the same story that will play out this time around. At the end of the day, I believe Brighton should be fighting to change that story of Everton think they could own them. So
Mm.
I see a 2-1 win for Brighton in that game.
This is Brighton. Brighton commits so much in attack, and Everton is a team that takes advantage of that. They have very good attack. I think they did very well with the signing of Grealish and Ndiaye, and even this their recently informed striker Barry. So I think they can take advantage of that Brighton's commitment in attack and their lack of defensive prowess.
Well, I know Everton have all the motivation to go into that game with, but
Yeah, yeah.
I still stick with Brighton getting a win against Everton in that
Sure, no problem. We shall see.
game. Now, moving on from that Brighton game, let's go to Nottingham Forest now against Crystal Palace.
Okay. We have a team that is in the thick of a relegation
Yes,
battle.
fighting
Yeah,
with all they have
yeah,
to
yeah.
sustain
And
themselves in the
yeah,
league.
and a team that might plunge themselves into a relegation battle
Exactly.
if care is not taken.
Mm.
Interesting game. Nottingham Forest have been impressive. Impressive. The pressure of relegation, the fear, the players have being committed. They are showing the fight these past few games. Igor Jesus is coming in form, scoring goals. Hudson Odoi, their defense is also not conceding. So I think Nottingham Forest wins this one. Crystal Palace have been dropping. They have been dropping. They are losing their players. Mateta might go even before
Mm.
the next game week. So I think it's going to be a 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest.
Moving on from there, let's take a look at a game between Wolves versus Bournemouth. What do you think will happen in that game?
That's another interesting fixture.
Mm.
I think it's going to be a very easy win for Bournemouth. Yes, Wolves have been doing pretty well, I would say, in the past 5 games.
Mm.
Only losing to Manchester City, just 2-0,
Mm.
I think, in their last game. So, but I think Bournemouth will come on top. They are going to be, firing from all angles. They don't have anything to lose. I think they are still looking to get into Europe. They still have a shout for Europe. Wolves, at this point, they are relegated. You know,
Wow.
I just think the both teams will be free to play their football, and Bournemouth will come on top with a 3-0 win.
3-0 win for Bournemouth. I mean, I agree with Chike on that. if there's any motivation that the Bournemouth team will need, they have it in their last game against Liverpool, where they picked. I mean, they had a 9-minute goal that gave them a win against Liverpool. That should be enough motivation for them to go into that game all out against Wolves to pick a precise win. I think it should be a 0-2 win for Bournemouth in that game. Now, moving on from that Bournemouth game, let's take a look at the last game of the weekend, which is between Sunderland and Burnley. Such a tough team there, Sunderland.
Sunderland is a tough team, especially at home. You know,
very dangerous at home.
They don't lose at home. They don't lose at home. And Burnley in the relegation scrap, probably relegated. I think it's going to be a very easy win. You know, Brobbey is firing right now. Xhaka, the leadership, you know, and the whole squad is coordinated, united. They also have a shout for Europe. They can do it. You know, they've been coordinated throughout the first half of the season. So if they keep that unity, that coordination, keep doing what they are doing, getting results, especially at home, I think they have a chance for Europe. And I think it's going to be an easy 3-1 win for them.
3-1 win. Since me, Chike, we are still we're on the same page on this as well. I mean, Nottingham with that embarrassing, it seems like Sunderland seems like, you know, a wounded lion per se, coming out from that embarrassing loss against West Ham. The Burnley should be the team that is paying for that. So it's going to be a 3-1 win for me too for Sunderland in that game.
Yeah. It's going to be a win for them.
There you have it for all the previews and the weekend that's going to happen in the English Premier League come this weekend. Don't forget, it's game week 24 on the Scorivo app. You can drop your prediction, and who knows, you could be the winner for game week 24. Before we close in on the show, you used to be a very good player on Scorivo rating, you know, but recently your performance has dropped. Are you Guardiola or you?
Sorry. To be honest, I don't know what is going on. I think we've just had so many good players, you know,
the predicting Hillary.
Yeah, we have so many good players now predicting on Scorivo, you know, delivering week after week, and also it's the competition is fierce. It's not easy for me to even go climb to the top 5. I was in the top 3. Now I'm about to even leave the top 6. Last weekend I was 15th. So it's not impressive at all. So yes, definitely I need to do better. I think my predictions, I've been applying some sort of emotion. I need to be better with that. I need to come direct with my analysis skills, and I'll do better with my predictions. So yeah, I'll be back.
You too can be a winner on Scorivo. The good thing is you don't need money to play on Scorivo, just your football abilities. Subscribe, follow, like, share, and I'll see you in our next episode.
Cheers, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you for your time.
Scorivo. Chase the streak. Claim the glory.